Well, here after the Christy Awards 2014 at the Marriott Marquis Hotel in Atlanta, Susan May Warren, winner in the Contemporary Series for Take a Chance on Me. Now, Susan, this is your first in I guess we could say, a new series, which is actually somewhat based on an old series.
Right.
So explain that to us.
Sure. Take a Chance on Me is a spin-off of a series that I did previously. I made a little town in northern Minnesota called Deep Haven, and I had some books in that collection, and one of my books in that collection won last year, and this year it's about this family that lives in this little town, and this is the first book in that series. It's a family saga about this family that runs a resort, and they want to give away the resort to their kids who don't really want it. So how do you do that with the next generation?
And I know you were just sharing with me that you were really exploring this whole notion of leaving a legacy, building a family legacy. Talk about that just a bit.
Absolutely. You know, we have all of these parents out here, and then a lot of my audience is my demographic, that older generation, who are trying to figure out, okay, we've taught our kids our faith, our lives, this sort of thing, trying to pass it on to them, but maybe they don't want it. Maybe they have a different view of Christianity. Maybe their faith looks different. So how do we pass that on to them? How do they accept sort of that legacy of faith, and how are they going to live that out? So we have two generations in the novel, the older generation and then the younger generation, who are trying to figure out life and faith in their own way.
So as far as the characters in this new series as compared to the previous series, what are most of the characters back, or you got some new folks, or how does that work?
Oh, that's a great question. So our old series had a number of people, it was a collection, so a number of people in the town. The characters from this book showed up in the previous book, and then we've just launched with a new family, new characters. We do see some of the old townsfolk in this book, but for the most part, it's all new characters.
So what time period are we talking about here?
Oh, this is all contemporary. So right now, today's world, and it is a small town in Minnesota, so time slows down in the small town a little bit, but it's still very contemporary, big issues.
Now, this obviously a small town series, previously new series, same town. Have you found that's something you kind of write about very often, the small town life?
Yeah, that's very much what I write about. I live in a small town in northern Minnesota, so it's very accessible to me. It's something I love. I find that my readers really like small towns. They get to know sort of the people in the small towns. A lot of people like, that small town feel, like Gilmore Girls and Stars Hollow, that sort of thing. And they create a cast of characters. Well, that's what we've done, except we put them in Minnesota. So yeah, it's something I love to do.
Well, there's something very special about that, and like you say, your readers like that. So let's talk a little bit broader as far as just the way that you inject your faith. Obviously, you're a Christian, you're a writer. What have you found to be the most effective way to inject the faith elements into your stories?
Absolutely. That's part of the character development of my characters. So all of my characters start out with a belief system, a lie that they believe. That's the way I build my stories. They come into the story believing something, and the story is about them getting set free. And so it's a truth journey that they're on. So they might believe that God doesn't love them. They might believe that God abandons them. They might believe that God is an unfair God. But through the course of the story, they learn the truth. So my stories are all about the character and the truths that they learn, and I'm not really heavy-handed with scripture or anything like that. It's really about the circumstances of the story that really start to enlighten them as they search for truth.
Well, congratulations, Contemporary Series. Now, is that the same category that you won in last year?
Yes, it is. It's the same category, so it seems like a good fit for me.
That sounds good. Where can people find you online?
Go to SusanMayWarren.com.
All right, Susan May Warren, congratulations. Christy winner in the Contemporary Series category. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.